You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you've tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore. And you tuned in for one reason and one reason only. And it's the best reason in the whole world, because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U. And that's great, by the way, because when you become the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. And you've tuned in now, along with 418,922 people around the world, all focused on the same thing, becoming the best you possible. Because on this show, we discuss the three fundamentals of life. And when you work with these three fundamentals, the result will be you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Now, of course, the three fundamentals are, number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. A simple example. Right now, this show has been carried around the world on the internet. If you ask anybody, what does WWW stand for? Invariably, it has to do with the internet. Now, factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And of course, what is a word, right? WHATA. And a big tip of the hat and a thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral and not touch just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. Whenever you hear the opening bars of What a Wonderful World, what do? Right away, you can't help it. You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you get to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile is an acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I'm privileged to speak to people around the world on the web and in person. Recently, I spoke to a group of 1,172 people, and I'm talking about seeing miracles in life every day and the story of Barry Shore. And some people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours already. I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. You have water, drink, you have food, a place to sleep, you have family, you have friends. Every single one of those is a miracle. And the proof, simple proof, 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or you're listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full. Let me tell you a quick story. It's about me. Imagine, if you can, I'm standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down. It's called being a quadriplegic. And it was not the result of an automobile accident, not the result of a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me completely, totally paralyzed. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't move. I was 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips, my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. Can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. All because of one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you a cute story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago. She says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile. Sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. You're going to learn today a lot about rethinking from an amazingly wonderful, upbeat, dynamic fellow. His name is Brian Schultz. So we'll meet him in just a couple of minutes. It's so much fun when you can shift your perspective. Now, I got to tell you, I've been working with people for 4.5 decades, highly intelligent, successful people. And when they first come to me, what they do most of the time, 97% of the time, they drop the F in shift and the other stuff happens. So you're going to be effing careful with your Fs. You want to shift your perspective just a little bit. And the result will be that you can now internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your pathway and your trajectory in life. Now, before we bring on Brian, I want to warn everybody in the audience. First of all, thank you so much. We urge everybody to share this with 5 people and rate the podcast. Now, you want to share with 50 or 100, it's up to you. We love it. You share with 5 people, that means we'll touch 2 million people around the world. And we're getting, the audience grows, thank God, by 25, 30,000 people every week because you're telling your family and friends. But I got to warn you in advance, the new people, I do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use that 4-letter FU word. And I do it because of the shock value and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, free, gift, play, pray, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, when you see your family and friends, they have a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face, I want you to point your finger and say, F you, everybody. But right away, capital N, capital N. So where'd you get that? So now that you have your attention, you can talk to them all the wonderful, amazing things that we're going to be discussing today with fabulous Brian. So just remember to F you, everybody. Now, before we bring on Brian, I want to urge everybody to learn to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously, from now the rest of your life. Because you do this, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Consciously and conscientiously. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, be kind always. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody that inspires noble deeds that I want to share with you more than wonderful, amazing Brian Schultz. Brian, please say hello to 427,918 people around the world.
Hello.
Okay, those of you who are watching, you get an extra treat. If you're listening only, it's going to be cool. If you get to watch, it's even better because you're seeing this remarkably beneficent, bountiful, beloved, beaming countenance in front of you with a great beard. We both have great beards. His is a couple decades younger than mine, and I'm jealous of him. I don't like you, Brian. See? Okay, because he has lots of hair on top. So Brian, I'm happy to say, is a good new friend. And I've asked him to be on this program because he does something that touches a lot of people. I mean, by the millions. And it's all good because Brian is the envy of everybody. He's in the movie business. Isn't that interesting? I mean, you just say that and people lean in right away. So what's it all about? By the way, I urge everybody, don't take notes. Don't write anything down. Just lean in and feel the experience. I urge you, watch it again when you can, because that's why we record this. Then you want to write down some stuff because you're going to hear memorable things. But right now, just feel the experience because that's what Brian's about. He runs a business, built a business called Look Cinemas. So Brian, let's just jump right in and talk about the movie business. I mean, come on. This is the year 2024. It's 100 plus years from the beginnings of, silence and talkies. And now you're in a completely new world with streaming and now you're in the cinema business. How does that jive? What does that mean? What's the feeling? What's the process, especially as we emerge from COVID?
It's absolutely amazing that we get to serve millions of people per year, and they're always coming for a good time. You don't come to a theater to have a bad time. You come to transport yourself, to escape, to have a great meal, have hospitality and service. And we're really in the dine-in space where we give an experience. So from the time that you hit our website, the time that you learn about the movies, watch the trailers, we try and make it a great experience so that people can escape. And what I particularly love about it is that we have generational groups, we have all different kinds of people coming in, and they're exploring different lives, different worlds, and it really adds perspective. So this concept of the purpose of bringing communities together, and after COVID, we say back together, because we've lost that a little bit. And that's the kind of positivity that I want to bring to the world, is how can we bring people back together so that they can learn, love, laugh, have a great time together inside a theater. And then we serve them great food too, because when you break bread together, it makes friendships and better, connections with everyone.
So let's unpack a few things, because you use these beautiful words which touch the very essence of the being. First of all, everything you want to know about Brian is in the show notes. You got to go and look him up, because what he does is truly delightful. Like he said, you don't go to the theater for a bad time. This is a good experience. His places are the happiest place on earth. Yes, and less expensive than going to the happy place on earth. And it's right. Look Cinemas. It's called LOOK, Look Cinemas. Now, I've told him, I think he chose the name purposely because look backwards is cool, because he's very cool. And as he said, what you're doing is you're in the intersection of experience and dining. Isn't that wonderful? Now, I've been to one of his theaters, one in Manhattan, and I look forward to going to others as well. It's a truly wonderful place where it is not just experiential, like you said, the 3 L's. 3 L's are live, laugh, love, and something else.
You got me. Look,
yeah. But it's bringing people back together again, so families can go and reconnect and do things. So it's really a dining experience that is surrounded by an adventure. Because isn't that what the movie business is about, by the way, Brian? Isn't it an adventure to go and be amazed by what's in front of you on a big screen?
You can teleport yourself. You can forget about all the things that are going on in the world, all the things that confuse you. And being able to have this, if you will, temple of focus where, for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you can put everything behind and be transported. I think it's a really sacred thing, and I think it's really important that we honor that. And this idea of creativity, dreams, being able to see role models, things that you aspire, even locations that you want to go to, the technology in cinema, the immersion, the addition of laser projection, immersive sound. And we've done a couple things after studying neurology and studying personal experience that have allowed us to even go further with that. And we've come up with what's called a black box theater concept, so that there's no distractions. Now, in live theater, black box has been around for a long time, and it allows you to immerse yourself on what's going on. But we've put our screens in such a way, the sound in such a way, that you can immerse yourself in that world and forget about everything else that's going on. So it's absolutely my pleasure, my life work, and to see the joy in everyone's face every day. It's a real pleasure.
So I got to tell again, if you're listening to this, Brian's voice is wonderful. If you're watching it, as he spoke his last few words about creating joy for other people, you saw his face light up, because that's what's happening here. It's not just that there's a screen and these plush seats and there's food next to you. It's an immersive experience. I like that word that you said. It's a sacred experience, and far different, let's be blunt, than the streaming process of a small rectangle or an iPad. It's such a heightened awareness of not having to be competing with many other things at the same time. To be able, like you said, almost in a temple-like atmosphere, to go in and do something, especially if the movie is uplifting, beneficial, touches the heart, causes one to laugh. Hello, how rare is that today, Brian? By the way, what prompted you to be in the movie business? I presume it wasn't that you were raised as the son of a producer or a director or a writer or something like that. How did you get yourself involved in the movie business?
Well, I'll take the long path and then you cut me off if it goes too long. But growing up as a young kid, I was a stutterer and I had trouble speaking and I had confidence issues. And, my mom made this one mistake. So going into fifth grade, she didn't sign me up at school for any electives. And the only one that was left was choir. And I realized very quickly in choir that I didn't stutter. And when you sing, stuttering goes away, your brain gets relaxed, and it changed. And it went from that to being pushed into trying out for my first musical play. And it was a great story, one of the best stories with my father. They used to put up a sheet of who made it. So they would put that up early Saturday morning. So you'd go there by yourself so no one would be embarrassed. My dad and I went. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, son, you didn't make it." We went and got some ice cream. The director ended up calling that next Monday and asked why I didn't show up to the rehearsal because my dad didn't think that I would ever get the lead part. So I was at the top. He only looked at the bottom. So these are the kind of things that we've overcome in time. But this idea of putting on a show and from a live perspective, transported and being able to populate other characters when I was a shy, stuttering kid, it really enabled me to come into my own and try a lot of different things, see what worked, see what felt the most authentic and natural. And that's what I try and do for my team. That's what I try to do to everyone with everyone that I come in contact with. So that was the basis of getting into this theater business. And then I took a couple paths along the way. Like I started my career in politics and just realized that if I couldn't be a screen actor, I would go ahead and be an exhibitor and create joyful experiences and create a platform to create a positive wake in the world through these stories that others were creating.
Okay. Do you want me to cause some raised eyebrows right now?
Sure.
You're a porn star.
Oh, no. No.
Let me tell you what porn star is. It's an acronym I made up. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Power of related narrative, stories that attract results.
Okay. I'll take that. That's wonderful.
So that's what you've been telling us. You went from a stuttering, low confidence being to someone who could sing and recognize that in the process of singing, you could articulate something. You could tell a story. You could act. And if it couldn't be on the stage itself, you could be in that same flow of creating an opportunity for others to experience that which you love most, which is creating community. I mean, that's really what Luxon is about. Yeah, I think I'm going to make the statement. It's more than just how do you attract an audience to come and spend money at my theater? Okay, yes, there's a business aspect. The reality is, how do you attract audiences that want to keep coming back to Look Cinemas because they recognize how beneficial it is to their very soul? Am I correct? Am I correct on that?
Absolutely. I get texts, emails all the time, but just as importantly, that's why I'm in the theaters a lot, because I get to face see how it's affecting families. And I especially get excited about the folks that haven't been to a movie, since COVID, and they're coming back and they're like, "Oh, I really miss this." It's a missing part in their life. So we can bring them that experience. And a matter of fact, this evening, I'm going to be doing that in Los Angeles, which is wonderful.
Woo! So again, let's talk about just another minute before we go to our break. The movie business, you're part of the movie business. I mean, you deal with studios. Let's be blunt. The independent movie theaters are a small percentage of the numbers of screens that exist in the United States of America. Okay, fine. However, the independent theaters do make a difference. I mean, you do touch millions of people throughout the course of a year. So when you're as much involved in the movie business as these giants and such. So you need to deal with Universal Studios or Warner Brothers and Paramount and Angel Studios, et cetera, et cetera. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. And dealing with the smaller directors, creators, someone who just came out of college, giving them a platform where they can show their content to a larger audience is just absolutely wonderful. And then we love the big releases too. We were just here at the Cinema Summit, and we got to see a lot of what's going to be coming for the rest of the year. And I get ready, just strap in. There's a roller coaster ride of incredible product. I can't spoil any of it, but it's absolutely awesome for the rest of the year. And what a privilege to be able to focus on how we serve our guests and how we can bring them in, no matter how on or off beat these different films are. A matter of fact, a film, Barry, that I think you might enjoy. It's called Lee, and it's about the.
I love cliffhangers. So on that high note of Lee, we're going to go to a brief break. Now, we wouldn't have sponsors if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. We vet everything. So I urge you, consider using the products and services that we offer here because they're great. And we'll be right back with more Brian right after this brief message. Don't go away. Water, wonderful, clean, clear, fresh water. I make it a point to have good habits. And one of the most beneficial habits is drinking pure, healthy water. That's why I use AquaTrue, AQUATRU, AquaTrue. You got to check out this company. AquaTrue purifiers use a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process. That sounds like a lot, and I'll tell you what it is. It's great because there's no installation or plumbing, and it removes 15 times more contaminants than ordinary pitch filters. I have to tell you, you got to get this remarkable countertop process. The filters are actually quite affordable and they're long lasting. You change maybe once every 6 months or 2 years. So you save a lot right away, not having to buy a lot of filters. And when you use the system, you're getting the equivalent of about 4,500 bottles of water. I mean, think about that. That comes out to less than 3 cents a bottle. Plus, you're saving the environment from all that plastic and such. And best of all, the water tastes fantastic. I love drinking water. And even more importantly, my kids and grandkids love water even more so than carbonated soda. How's that? And if you have pets like we do, our dogs love this water. So I can truly taste the difference. And I urge you, please get the AquaTrue system. Go to aquatrue.com. AQUATRU.com. AQUATRU.com. Put in the code JOY, J-O-Y at checkout. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it makes a great gift. You're going to love it. You're going to thank me. Go to aquatrue.com, AQUATRU.com. Use the promo code JOY, and you'll thank me. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Brian Schultz. He is the founder and the owner of Look Cinemas. These are immersive, productive places that you want to go to experience another kind of cinematic enjoyment. And it's all about dining and people and community and growing. And he's just about to tell us about something that he sees coming in the future, a movie. I think you said the title is Lee, L-E-E. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And it's about this idea of how you create a narrative. And it's a hard story because it's really the filmmaker, the director, female director who filmed the Munich Olympics. And it's about how her goal was to create this narrative. And through that process, she got a totally different benefit of what the Nazi Germany was really about.
Woo!
An absolutely heavy, awesome story, small release. And it's just our pleasure to give it a little bit more breathing room and expose it to more people. But there's literally just hundreds and hundreds of incredible life stories that we can gain wisdom from and, learn and just sometimes just laugh and be entertained, whatever it might be. There's contents for all different kinds of people at the theater. And that's getting more and more accessible as we can hyper focus. And I think there's a place for Look Cinemas and other smaller exhibitors that can really highlight that. Barry, you talked about the small screen. I actually think streaming and all the other aspects of the whole community are an ecosystem that are all beneficial, but you can't really replace the real premium, the top of the heap, which is the movie theater. And I would say particularly like the Look Dine-In theater, that's a black box, non-distracting, immersive type experience with the hospitality.
So again, I've been privileged to be in one of your cinemas, the one in Manhattan. I look forward to going to others, and I can attest that it's the buzz of people before they enter the theater, in the theater, and afterwards. It really is. You can feel it. It's tingling. It's a very different experience, as you said, than the streaming, which are good in terms of giving information and data, and on the go and such. The ability to get outside of oneself and be involved with people that you love, either again, whether it's just one or two of you or whole family, or even just go by yourself sometime and just feel the presence of other people. It's really something special. So I want to probe a little more with you, Brian, that part of what you're saying here is that, yes, you recognize that the movie business is a business. Let's be blunt. It's a very large, multi-billion-dollar business. What you're doing is you want to create this, I'm putting words in your mouth, we'll call it this positive, visionary experience. And how do you execute on that? How do you keep that process going so that you communicate with the patrons that you've already had and attract new ones to Look Cinemas rather than to any other cinema that they might want to go to?
Yeah, so a lot of the cinemas have become kind of homogenized, and we actually treat every individual with hospitality. We care that they're there. We greet them when they come in. But it even comes to the music and the smell of the facility. Every location has a little bar gathering place where you can grab a snack, talk before or after the movie. So in a perfect environment, you'd get there, you'd hang out a little bit, get to communicate and relax with people that you care about, go into the movie, don't worry about anything. We bring everything right to your seat. And then you get to enjoy this movie. And then if the date's going well, or, you have enough time, just come right afterwards. We have nice music, relax. So it's this idea of connecting. And an interesting stat, when I first started in this business, I was, talking to a lot of the hourly employees and working with them side by side. And I realized so many people didn't get the benefit of what I did, which was having a nuclear family where we'd sit down and have dinner together and really get that experience. So that's part of what I was trying to recreate, is how can you sit down with the family and create this meal together? And then if we're doing it right, it becomes a ritual and a regular thing that happens.
So let's open up the kimono a little more. I'm fascinated by the movie business. I mean, who isn't? When I think of a movie, because I'm 75, so I think of a movie projector on a screen. That's not how you show movies these days, is it? You don't project on something on a screen, or do you?
Well, I've been doing this long enough that I actually, we used to splice the film together, and we used to run it through the projector. And the first projector I had was made in 1942. So, learned how to fix that, kind of make all the parts for it because they no longer, replaced it. But now, we transitioned through what was called DLP, which is a digitized projection system. And then we moved on to laser projection. So the majority of our screens are on laser. And that allows us to no longer, at least from Look's perspective, be a movie theater, but be a communal gathering place. And we show all different kinds of content. Movies are the majority of it, but as much as in some locations, 20% of what we do will be non-movie related, whether it's corporate training, whether it's watching all different kinds of events, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's debate watching and having panels afterwards. It's this idea of the community center that in a lot of ways has kind of gone away. How can we be that communal gathering place where you come? And some of the stories that are just, really, really fun is, we had debate watching, and, we had the Republican group, we had the Democrat group, and we had the Libertarians. They all wanted to be in separate rooms, but we messed it up. So they all started to mingle together. So, it just was a really fun. And this idea of opening perspective, having conversations, I think that's how we create a better future for the world.
I think that what you just touched on here opens up these tremendous channels of communication, the ability to not just show a prepackaged event such as a movie and have something that is impromptu, such as debates or the Olympics or any kind of viewing experience where it's bigger than life. I think that's also one of the nice things about a big screen. It's something where you can feel, wow, the ability to say, wow, and see somebody soaring over a mountaintop, or in the case of the Olympics, doing, let's say, a high jump or something, and you're there and you're seeing it on, how big are the screens? 20 feet high?
Yeah, some are 25, the immersive ones. And, I don't want to get too intellectual with the, viewers, but, UFC, wrestling, boxing, whatever you're into, you can do it as a family. And you talk about ruckus, fun events, concert. I mean, it was unbelievable the number of concerts that we're doing where, for the old cockers that, maybe don't want to go down to the venue, they can get a great experience. And we're doing that in 18 channel digital separation. So the sound is much better than the concert venue, and you can enjoy it and have food brought to you. And it's a really nice premium experience at maybe a little bit more accessible price than maybe having to go down.
Okay. I had no idea. The beauty of this is that these things happen and they have a life of their own. I didn't know this. I was going to ask you, is it even possible? And saying, well, hello, Barry. Of course we do that. Imagine seeing the Rolling Stones and not have to go through hours of waiting in traffic and getting into an event and being in a place with, 75,000 other people, whatever the number is. And I can go in this wonderful environment and watch and experience it as if it's right there without some of the other issues. Well, that's fabulous, Brian.
Well, Barry, let's just turn it towards you, because this is what I get to do all the time. And I think it's, my purpose in the world. So a great podcaster like yourself, people want to see you in person. They want to meet you. They want to touch and feel. So we have a whole podcast set up where you can do your podcast and you can have a live audience of up to, a couple hundred people there. And it's just an absolute pleasure. So we're doing that more and more as podcasts are getting more and more popular, and it allows the viewers to see you in person.
Okay, we'll have to continue this discussion. I mean, why not break new ground, right? I mean,
it's absolutely fabulous, and it brings energy to the show, and it's just absolutely a lot of fun.
By the way, F you. Capital N, capital N. When was the last time somebody said F you to you and you laughed? That's what we do here. F you, capital N and capital N. And by the way, so you should know this also, Brian, the word joy is a great acronym that stands for Journey of You. That's what joy stands for. And that's what you're embodying right now. You're taking us on the journey of Brian, who's giving us this window in the world to what Look Cinemas is all about. It's truly that place where you can laugh and let go and feel another aspect of the world as you enter into the doors of Look Cinemas. And right, it's the bar and it's brick and it's nice, and already you can go from one place to another, and it's a good place. It's a welcoming place.
And then, Barry, from a whole different, angle, we have thousands and thousands of employees, and a lot of them, it might be their first position, or they might not have a great, situation in their lives. And what a great way to model these behaviors of joy and happiness and storytelling and perspective, where they can get it. And that's made it absolutely a pleasure. People ask me all the time, is it hard to find, team members? And I kind of smile and go, no, not really. And they get a little angry at me, but if you create the right environment, people are yearning for it.
I'm going to touch on something that you just mentioned here. You're hiring and working with thousands of people, and this is their entree into the world of business. And you're right, maybe a lot of them don't come from a nuclear family. And now they have a place where they can begin to interact. And I experienced this again when I went to the theater, to the cinema, with people who do have smiles and they're wearing the nice look cinema uniform, and they feel empowered to do the following. I want to help you. Not like in a store, can I help you? People came over to me and say, what is it you think I can do for you? Is something in particular? Would you be like? It was wonderful. So you're giving people that free reign to be themselves, the good part of themselves, and to share that with others, because share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. I think that's what you do by having Look Cinemas and these remarkable places, these venues, these destinations where people want to be there. I'm not going to see a movie. I want to be there.
And it's amazing. Just my team that we've been able to develop and attract, have really embraced this concept. And whether they stay with us, for their entire career or move on to something else, they've had such success based on these fundamental lessons that have been life-changing for them. And it's just absolutely a pleasure. At this conference I was at, so many of them have stayed in this industry, and I got to reconnect with a lot of my past employees. And it's just great to see what they're doing, and they're bringing this positive wake to the world.
And as we know, I love acronyms. The acronym for TEAM is Together, Everyone Achieves Miracles. Not just more, miracles. The transformation of the human being into a giver from a taker. That's what, to me, Brian, that's what you embody. You're here to give. I want to go a little deep into your personal life, if we may, to touch on a couple of things. You've been through some stuff. You've had what, and people know my story, the bunch of new here and looking up, and I went through being completely paralyzed for years. I came out of it, thank God. I can move around now. I can't get up from this chair, but that doesn't matter. I can move my body, and I actually learned how to swim. I now swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. Brian, tell us something in your life that was really brought you close to a difficult situation.
Yeah, just through life, I think sometimes when physically you become near death, it opens up a purpose. It opens up a whole different set of priorities, and it gives you a reason to exist and be in this world and create a positive thing. And you don't take time for granted either. It allows you to really be in the present moment with you here today and your listeners, and really push forward. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, I'm going to say fortunately, I've had 5 near-death experiences or near-life experiences where I was reminded. Sometimes my family tells me that I'm a slow learner, that I needed 5 times. Usually people get away with 1. So,
Would you be willing to share, if it doesn't go into too deep a place, one of your experiences?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I would say probably the craziest one, I grew up as a motorcycle racer. So I raced motocross, and yes, that's what we did growing up, those big jumps and all those things. And I ended up in a coma for almost a week, and it was amazing. I got run over by multiple motorcycles, and it was one of the most powerful things, because when I woke up, it was almost like a videotape had been rewound. I was back on the motorcycle in the moment for about a minute, and then I came back to the area and had a couple other epiphanies that really opened up my perspective on what could have happened, what could have been. They were so surprised by the ferocity of the fall that I wasn't permanently injured. So, that was just one example that gave me some insight. When I was in, 6th grade, I was riding my bicycle to school, and a car turned in the way, and I can't believe it, ran over both my legs And this is one of the, it's an incredible thing. I had so much adrenaline. It was the day that we were supposed to get the Presidential Fitness Award, and we were supposed to run the mile. So the police call my dad. My dad comes driving by. They're all freaked out. They're like, your son just got run over by a truck. And I'm standing there, just absolutely blessed. And I told my dad, I said, hey, you need to take me to school. I need to run the mile today. Now, when the adrenaline, laid off, I had to go to the hospital and get checked and everything. But just by the grace of God and by divine intervention, I've always had this ability to slow down the world. And as I was getting run over, the world went into slow motion, and I was able to move myself. So the tire was coming for my, head and upper body. And I was able to kind of crawl where it just got my legs. So there's just different things where you have these benefits of the mind doing incredible things to be able to heal the body, slow down the world, keep you in the moment and transition, that are just true gifts.
So this is what I was hoping you would be able to share with our audience. As I said, we have a worldwide audience. Most of the people that listen are under the age of 35. And it is this process of the mind, body, spirit that allows one to truly succeed in life. Because real success, everybody who's a thinker recognizes, has as little to do with a bank account as anything. Real success is who you are as a giver, a channel, I call it a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. And the ability to integrate your physical, mental, and spiritual aspects enables one to live life to the full, which is what you do, Brian. Let's be blunt.
Yeah,
you're living life to the full.
Maybe a little bit too much, but Barry, it all starts with the way that you see yourself, I think.
Wait a minute. On that high note, how you see yourself, SEE, we'll be right back, because that has to do with look. And we'll be right back after this brief message. Remember, we wouldn't have these sponsors if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. So we'll be right back after this brief message. Don't go away. There's more Brian on the other side.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, because you're always looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. His name is Brian Schultz. He started, owns, runs, and brings together people all over the country through Look Cinemas. It's an experience that you really must go. You must seek these out. And there's 100 screens, 10 different theaters around the country. And it's worth your time, because it will enable you to be the best you possible. So we're just on that edge of talking about the ability to see more clearly in life. Brian, talk to us about being able to see even better.
Well, it starts with yourself. And I don't know what you say to yourself in the morning, Barry, but obviously you have a lot of positivity and positive wake. But when you see yourself, some don't like what they see. They might not like that. So what's going on in your mind that you can actually look in the mirror and love yourself and really create who you're going to be and how you're going to be experienced in the world, so that you can give more than receive? So that's, every morning I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror. Usually I have a show tune on my mind, something like that. But more importantly, whether it's a good day, bad day, I still see myself in the mirror, and I have to love myself and know who I am and create that image. Because what more is it than that? Knowing who you are and creating that image.
So the great acronym for the word FLY, because Brian loves to fly, right? Fly stands for first love yourself. When you're able to look in the mirror, and again, he calls it look cinemas. He understands about the ability to look. Love opens opportunities knowingly. That's what look stands for. Love opens opportunities knowingly. Okay.
You know, it's amazing. And when I was thinking about look, I was thinking about seeing yourself in the mirror and, you know, maybe not liking what you do and having the ability to change that just by how you see yourself and the energy that you give back. And then I saw a film where they were actually filming from behind a movie screen, the audience. And those that don't know how movie screens work, they have a lot of little dots in them. So you can actually see perfectly from behind the screen, and watching what the audience is taking in at different times is absolutely just incredible. How they're mesmerized, how they're laughing, crying, leaning forward together, covering their eyes, whatever it might be. There's this group communal feel to it. And I want everyone to be able to see themselves as beautiful, as wonderful, as successful, what they want to be, not what they are. And that, you know, that's one of the things I talk about, visionary execution, Barry, that we got to talk about just a little bit. And some people that are much more just black and white will tell me, well, what you just said isn't true. And I like to say, yet.
And ...
Exactly.
Visionary execution. That's what you're talking about, right?
So visionary execution with all our team, with all our businesses, even with my children, we go ahead and we write forward what we're going to feel like, what we're going to be talking about, what our achievements are, what our challenges are from a future state. When you first try it, it could be a week ahead. We like to do it, you know, for a year ahead, sometimes 5 years ahead, so that you can set that path. And even if you don't look at it every day, it just gets embedded into your subconscious, and that's what becomes true.
This is for another longer discussion. This is great because it is the subconscious, what I call marinating in wisdom. When we go to sleep, when we have that visionary thoughts of where we want to be, where we will be. And now for the next 6, 7, 8 hours, you're going to be there. The subconscious does make all that happen. So this is what we call WOW, Brian. WOW stands for words of wisdom, words of wonder. Wow. I even got an acronym for your name. Would you like to hear an acronym that I made up during the break?
Oh, thank you. Yes, of course.
Brian, BRIAN. Beautiful, relentless, inspirational, achieving nirvana. I'm loath to say the words that I'm about to say to you. It's the nature of the process. We're coming to a close in our time together right now. I have 3 questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Absolutely, yes.
Woo! Thank you. Number 2, Brian Schultz, you only have 80 seconds to answer this question. What is your most fervent desire?
My most fervent desire is to create a positive wake in the world and help people uncover to be their very, very best, what they want to be, not what I want them to be, but what they desire to be to reach their potential.
That's powerful. That's purposeful, positive, pleasant, visionary. Number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 429,811 people around the world?
All right, you got to show me how you're going to do it.
Right. HUG stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And of course, you're listening to The Joy of Living with your home host, Barry Shore, and our amazing guest, Brian Schultz from Look Cinema. Everything you want to know about Brian, it's there in the show notes. Just go look it out, check it out. Be involved because it's a great immersive experience to your advantage. Remember, that's why you tuned in. You tuned in not because Brian's a great guy, which he is, or Barry's a fabulous fellow, which he is. It's all about you. Why are you becoming the best you possible. That's why you're here. Consciously and conscientiously, you told people about the joy of living because we discussed the three fundamentals of life. Number one, your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life. Number two happens, a good number two, you go MAD. MAD is a great acronym that stands for make a difference. Number three, unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. You'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. WWW. What a wonderful world. Smile. See miracles in life every day. As my 8-year-old niece says, see miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, which Brian just told us. How you see yourself is the life you're going to create for yourself, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. And then you can shift your perspective. Keep that F in place so the other stuff happens. Shift your perspective. You can internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Use 4-letter words. Of course, we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. 4-letter words we use are love, life, hope, free, play, gift, swim, and tell the world to F you. Capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends, twinkle in your eyes, smile on your face, point your fingers at F you, everybody. Add right away, capital N, capital N. You got your attention. You can share these amazing insights with people. And we're going to give a blessing from Brian and Barry. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Brian, don't go away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.